Hey, it's Brian with Off-Road Essentials. Today I'm going to do a set of Moto-Built fenders on the Jeep. Having some clearance issues with the rears, and I think the new ones are going to look a lot better. So I have Moto-Built aluminum inner fenders, and I have KBD replacement outer fenders. I think it'll look pretty good. I haven't seen anyone really use them yet. Only a couple people out there that I've seen actually photos of. I didn't see any videos, so we'll see what we can do. Stay tuned and we'll get everything installed. I'm actually going to start on the rears. Those were having most of my issues, so just in case I run out of time, I can still do the Rubicon trip with the fronts as they are. Rears, my tires are rubbing pretty hard into this inner fender and actually starts to pull it off as I'm driving. So we're going to take care of this first. Added a little bit longer bump stop. Actually, I didn't have any bump stops to start, but added a 2-inch Synergy bump stop. Helped a little bit, but when it really flexes out, it still grabs, and I also like the look of the aluminum ones in there. It looks a lot better than this plastic one. So first steps first. Got everything pre-assembled. It was much easier to do it on the kitchen table where I had lots of room. Assembly instructions I'll put in the link below, but pretty easy to put together. It comes in 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, and 4. They are definitely site specific, so kind of goes together relatively easy. All the rivet nuts are already installed, so all you have to do is put it in these 1024 Allen heads. So far I haven't tightened them up. They're just snug so they don't bounce around, but I imagine I may need to kind of shimmy them around to get everything to line up, because it is a production vehicle and a production part. It may not line up exactly perfect, so I kind of left everything a little bit loose for that. Also assembled the front fenders, make it a little bit easier when I'm out here kneeling on the ground. All right, let's get going. We'll get that rear fender off. We'll get going. All right, got the rear fender removed. Broke almost every single one of the clips all the way around, but I guess that happens. We'll get going on this. One thing I kind of noticed, I cleaned this up just with a microfiber and some Windex to make sure it was clean before I put it on. What drives me crazy about those factory fenders is all the little rocks they get in, and then just beat up the body. All that paint damage is from rocks kind of sitting in the gap. You can kind of see it on this side. They drop down in there like that, and then they just sit there and damage the body. So kind of looking forward to getting rid of that. Keep the body looking a little bit nicer, since I definitely don't wash this thing all the time. I use it as much as possible, and it is hard to kind of keep it super clean, so it'd be nice not to have to worry about that. Next up, we'll get the aluminum inner fender in, and then we'll finally do the KBD outer fender after the inner's in. So got a couple more things I got to get popped out. These little plastic Christmas trees got to come out. I know it lines up with 2 of these. I can't remember which one, so I'll get them all out anyways. All right, let's get that aluminum inner fender in and see how she lines up. All right, got the fender in. First 3 bolts in. Went relatively easily, but definitely focus on 1 bolt at a time. I tried getting all 3 lined up, and it was kind of a fiasco. I kind of messed around with it for a while, but without getting any lined up at the same time. So I started with this one, got it started. It's a little bit bigger hole, so I figured if I get that one, I can kind of wiggle it around that. Got that one. Had to kind of push pretty good to get that one to get in there and seat, but then got that one. And then the last one was way down here. Couldn't get it to line up. But my issue was back here wasn't high enough, so I kind of hit here. Like I said, kept all of these slightly loose, but hit up there, and finally all of a sudden it popped and slid right into place and made it really easy. And then these bottom last 2 holes, I need to put a nut on the back side, also lined up perfectly once I got that back to flip up a little bit. One thing to note that they don't really say in the instructions, at least that I could see, as the Moto-Built logo does go towards the back. So when you're trying to figure out which side you need to put it on, line that up to the back. But even just starting with that looks a whole lot cleaner than the factory one did. A lot more clearance back here, which is where I really needed it. Shouldn't have any tire clearance issues, I think, after I'm done with this. Let's get these last 2 bolts in, and then I'll go through and snug all all the original bolts back up and should be good. All right, got them all tightened up. I'm gonna skip this one for now. My fingers aren't quite cooperating. I can't get my fingers up there to hold the nut. So I'll come back and try that one a little bit later, but even without that, the inner fender is pretty solid. Instructions say you can add one more here by drilling through the body and attaching a nut to there, but it feels pretty solid as it is with just the hardware that I already have in. And then adding that one when I finally can get my fingers to cooperate and get the nut back in there. I think I'm gonna leave that one out. I don't think it really needs it. Moving forward, I'm gonna get the outer fender in, attaches with all these, and looks like it will have to probably drill that because I know it's gonna attach with that. Once I get it on here, I'll confirm, but let's grab the outer fender and throw it out there, see what it looks like. I got started with the KBD install. First things first, get all these little plastic inserts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Make sure to not put one in that one. And obviously that one isn't round and these two are not used anymore. Pretty easy. I just use the back of a flat end screwdriver, push on it until it pops in. And sometimes you got to kind of push one corner in, then the next, and then the next, but they do pop in relatively easy. Next step up, we hang the fender and then install the screws. It goes screw, washer, fender, and then into the insert. So I'll get that started. Easiest way I found, I've done a set of these on my JK. Easiest way I found was get one of the middle ones in first and then work your way down one side and then work your way down the other side. Don't try to focus on one at the end because then you're gonna have to support it up while you try to get all the other ones in. So I'll start with that. I'll get probably both of these in first and then work my way to the front and then work my way to the back. We'll do this real quick and I'll be right back. All right, got them all in. They all lined up quite nicely. Easiest way I found was I got this one in first, got the rest of them started all the way with just by hand, and then with a drill set to the screw mode with about, I think I have it set about a 5. The plastic insert likes to spin a little bit, so with that I was able to get a little bit of speed and then it all of a sudden bite and go in. And then obviously when it gets to as tight as it should be, the ratchet part kicks in and you don't strip out the plastic on the inside, which I was kind of afraid of when I did the drill anyways. But it was a lot easier than trying to do it by hand because as I was turning all those screws, the inside little insert just kept spinning. I tried sticking a trim tool in the back, see if I could hold it from spinning, and that didn't work either. It just kept popping off. So drill actually worked very well. They're all nice and tight. None of them stripped out. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. A little bit thinner than a factory one. I'll go ahead and measure that and let everyone know. But I'll measure distance from the body out. Front is absolutely thinner. It kind of tapers in, which I think looks better. And then same thing with the back, tapers in. It looks pretty good there compared to the factory one that's pretty thick all the way around. Overall, it does look like I gained a lot of tire clearance for up travel. I have to flex it out to see for sure, but sure looks like I gained a whole lot more clearance. Just repeat the same thing for the other side, which I'll do now, and then we'll get going on the front. Thanks for tuning in.